Hey, what's up everyone? Thank you for checking out ATW Travels. This is Tony here. Today we'll be doing the tour of the beautiful Carnival Jubilee, the Carnival's brand new Excel class ship. This is the third Excel class ship that Carnival has following the Mardi Gras and the Celebration. We start off on the back of Deck 18, also known as the Ultimate Playground. First up, there is a 9-hole mini golf course. Andrea and I did try it out, and it was a lot of fun. And this is included in your fare, so you don't have to pay extra for this. And I believe they are open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Just past the miniature golf course, there is a jogging track, which if you were to run or walk 7 laps, then that would be equivalent to 1 mile. We saw quite a few people there walking and jogging throughout different times of the day. You've got the Carnival Waterworks area, which has the water slides. You've got basically three large water slides. 2 of them are body slides, and the blue one, you need to have a mat to go down that slide. And then you have a couple of kiddie slides, as well as some splash areas. So it's a good area to cool off and just hang out there. Most of this video was shot around 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and so that's why you don't really see anybody there. But during the daytime, and especially when the weather's nice, yeah, this area does get pretty packed. Next up on the Ultimate Playground is Bolt, Carnival's roller coaster at sea. We had made reservations to ride Bolt, however it got cancelled. Unfortunately, we weren't able to ride it due to high winds. The cost of Bolt is $15 per person, and you can have 2 people sit on the coaster, and you do get 2 laps, so it's $15 per person and you get 2 laps. Again, unfortunately, we weren't able to ride Bolt due to winds. Word of advice, if you do plan on riding Bolt, try to make a reservation as soon as you get on the ship, and you can do it through the Carnival Hub app. Typically, when you're at port, your chances of getting on are probably better. You can see there's some nice seating areas, clamshells on either side of the ship, and depending if you want it to be in the sun or away from the sun, these places are pretty popular, especially on sea days also. You'll find the entrance to the ropes course on the port side of Deck 18. And in order to do the ropes course, you have to have closed-toed shoes and you cannot be in swimwear. There's a really cool section on this course which has a mini zip line, and we were both brave enough that we did do it. It was fun. You have the basketball court where you can see they have people playing basketball, but then they also use it for dodgeball tournaments, which they have throughout the cruise. As we make our way around past the basketball court, you will notice that they have a foosball table and then a ping pong table, and then there's also another foosball table on the other side of the ship, as well as some cornhole boards. Now this area here is the front part of the Ultimate Playground, and it's the central elevator bank. So if you needed to get up to Deck 18 with the elevator, you can only get there through this area here, and it's again the midship elevators. They're the only ones that take you up to Deck 18. Otherwise, you have to take the stairs from the back of Deck 17 or the midship area of Deck 17. And there are only 2 elevators out of the 8 elevators in the central elevator bank that will actually go up to Deck 18. And so that wraps up the rear of the Deck 18 tour, the Ultimate Playground, and we'll now go over to the front of the ship. Here we are at the front of Deck 18 on the Carnival Jubilee. This is a kind of a continuation of the Lido deck. It's up on Deck 18. It overlooks the pool and the big screen TV. You've got a ton of lounge chairs that face the TV, and you have some that are off to the side. You just got to watch out for those steps. There's like a couple of steps there, and this area connects to the Serenity Lounge or the Serenity deck. So the Serenity deck is the adults only, 21 and over area for adults, and one of the things that we notice is that the Serenity area is very, very large. It's so much larger than on the Breeze and on the Dream, and it's a very nice area. They did a really nice job with this layout. Here we are entering the Serenity Lounge. Again, this is a 21 and over, and you have entrances on either side of the ship, port side and starboard side. So here we are at the starboard side, or actually the port side, and we're going to walk all the way to the front and go back around. And you can see how spacious this is. Now, these staircases here go up to deck 19, which is Loft 19. That one, unfortunately, is not open to the public. You do have to pay, and it's $500 per day. You have your own private area. You can see that there's a lot of lounge beds. Some of those pillows were on the ground because of the wind. Some of those are kind of hidden, more shaded, and you do have some partitions that make it a little bit more private. One thing that we loved about the Serenity was that the glass is all the way around, so you don't have any obstructing views. So if you're laying down, you've got the glass and you can see the full ocean. The other thing that they did really nicely on this ship is they do have a salad bar for the Serenity area, as well as a regular bar, so you could order drinks and then eat a salad bar. You do have a decent sized pool with some shade where you could have tables and you could sit at the chairs or at the different booths. We'll leave the pool area of the Serenity deck and we'll continue to make our way to the front of the ship. And you can see again more lounge chairs. And one of the things that we notice is that they have these half clamshells, whereas on the Breeze and the Dream they were full clamshells. They were completely enclosed with the exception of the front. They had an opening. But again, yeah, you could see that you've got the glass and it's open, whereas on the Breeze and the Dream, if you were sitting down right there by the railing, you had the metal in front of you, and so you kind of had to have your head above the railing to be able to see the ocean. And as we make our way back towards the back of the ship, we're leaving the Serenity area. You can see that this side is pretty much identical to the other side. It's very symmetrical, again with the lounge chairs and the lounge beds. And then you'll also notice that there's a hot tub on this side there, and there was one on the other side. I didn't capture it, but it's the same. And the water was nice and warm. We didn't get in it, but we did test out the water. And so, again, this is the Serenity area. Very nice area. I think Carnival did a good job with this. And we'll now exit the Serenity and head back to the other side of deck 18, which is the same, more lounge chairs, a little bit more quiet. And this is a good area. It's close enough to the pool. You can still hear the music, but it's not too loud and it's not super quiet like the Serenity. So it's a nice mixture. And again, this area is for open for everybody. It's not part of the Serenity, but it's close to it. And with that, this concludes the tour of deck 18. We will now head down to deck 17. On deck 17, we start off with the area overlooking the Lido. You have a lot of lounge chairs which overlook the pool and the screen, as well as the main Lido area, which is part of deck 16. We'll cover that next. They have cabana type seating areas, which are on a first come first served basis. No reservations are needed, and they are free. You just have to get there early to claim them, since they're quite popular, and they only have a couple of them on either side of this deck. Over in that area, there's a 2-story tiki bar, and next to it is this little area where they might have a DJ throughout the day, or that is where the cruise director on this particular sailing, it was Kindle Fire. The cruise director will work and get people pumped for all the different parties that happen throughout the cruise. You can see the jogging track up there on deck 18, as well as some stairs leading up to that area. This is another part of the ropes course, which dangles you over the edge of the ship. We weren't brave enough to try that one. Maybe next time. All along the side, you have more loungers with unobstructed views of the ocean, and then some quietness away from the main busy Lido area. So if you wanted to get some shade and quiet, this area is perfect, and also away from the majority of the crowds. Definitely a great place to relax and unwind. It's also nice because they have these partitions which prevent it from being too windy. So there's definitely not a shortage of loungers on this ship. As we make our way back to the back of Deck 17 on the starboard side of the ship, this is where they have one of the larger smoking areas with lots of seatings, and this smoking area extends a little bit basically to the back part of the deck. The area on Deck 17 aft, it's a beautiful area, and those sofas were so comfortable. Andrea and I spent one of the sea day afternoons there. We spent a couple of hours. It was super relaxing, and it's not as windy as other parts of the ship because we are all the way in the back of the ship. This area overlooks the second pool on Deck 16, which we will cover next also. We are now on the port side, heading back towards the front. And you can see, again, more loungers and quiet areas for everyone to enjoy. This area here is the outside area of Club 02, which is one of the teen clubs, and this one is for ages 15 through 17. They have a nice little area out here with some pretty cool chairs, and we didn't cover the indoor area of this. Then there's some more outdoor seats over here, and these are open for anyone. We saw people there throughout the day that would just be sitting there hanging out or eating. Above this you can see the ropes course area and the zip line area. Right next to the main entrance to the Club 02 is where you will now find the Guy's Burger. They changed it up with a new queuing line system, and it's now away from the pool. So before it used to be right on the Lido and it was pretty crowded, but now it feels less crowded and definitely appears to be more organized than before. They have some wash stations, a covered seating area, and of course the toppings bar. Now, don't be discouraged if you see long lines at Guy's Burger. They actually do move pretty quickly. And Guy's Burger is complimentary, and it's open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. As we leave Guy's Burger, we'll make our way towards the midship area overlooking the pool. Here you'll find one of the free ice cream and frozen yogurt machines, also known as swirls. And you can either get it in a cone or in a cup, and this area is usually open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. for this particular location. You'll also find a drink station for water, tea, and coffee, all complimentary. Around the corner from Swirls, you'll see the second story of the Red Frog Tiki Bar, which overlooks the pool. And behind the bar are some stairs that go down to the Lido, and you'll also find some restrooms back here. Across from here is the area where the DJ and the cruise director will be during different times and events and different parties. And this concludes the tour of Deck 17. We will now head down to Deck 16, the Lido deck. One of the things that was nice is that they have these screens by each elevator bank displaying the food venues that were open at the time, and then they would also show which events or shows were taking place that evening, so it was pretty informative. The forward half of Deck 16, or the Lido deck, is cabins, and the other half is where a good part of the outdoor activities take place. This is where the main poolside theater is, the first floor of the Red Frog Tiki Bar, the main pool, hot tubs, and a shower to rinse off. Behind the pool on the port side is where you'll find the Blue Iguana Cantina, where some of the best breakfast burritos you can get, as well as the salsa bar. The Blue Iguana is open for breakfast from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., serving tacos, burritos, and huevos rancheros. And then they are open for lunch from noon to 3:30 p.m., where they serve different meats and toppings for tacos. And it is free. And you'll also find another beverage station for water, tea, and coffee. There's also a nice area that's enclosed. You've got the windows, you can see the ocean, and it's not windy, so you can enjoy your breakfast without any wind. We'll make our way across the pool to the starboard side for some more eateries. Starting off with the Seafood Shaq, which is a paid place for seafood, and it's open from noon to 10 p.m. on port days, and then from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on sea days. Right next to it is something that's new on these Excel ships, and it's called Street Eats. Street Eats are complimentary, and there's 3 different places, each one serving different little dishes each day. So the menu changes daily. You have the Time Fries, which serves different loaded fries, and you can buy wings there as well. Then you have Steam Dreams, which serves different dumplings each day. And at the end is the Mad Sizzle, which typically has meat-based dishes. These were really good. We tried the dumplings and the chicken teriyaki on one of the days. And they're open from 2 to 4 on port days, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on port days, and then from 11:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. on sea days. We liked it because it provides for a nice little and easy snack or meal, a small meal in between meals, and then you have another beverage station there for your water, tea, and coffee. To the right back there is staterooms and elevators, and so we'll make our way to the left here, heading towards the aft or the rear of the ship, and to the Lido Marketplace, also known as the buffet. You can see the first floor of the Red Frog Tiki Bar there on the right, and right across from us is where the towel station is, so you could check out towels. And then on the left you could see you could get the different size life jackets for the pool. The towels are free to check out, you just have to make sure to return them, otherwise you will be charged $25 if you don't return those towels. As we enter the Lido Marketplace buffet area, you'll notice some wash stations, and you'll find those on either side and on both entrances. The marketplace is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, serving different foods daily. And there are different stations throughout, as well as 2 main stations on opposite ends of this space. In the middle section, you have a couple of omelet stations for breakfast. They're really good and very popular. And you'll also see some fruits and pastries for breakfast. Now in the afternoon for lunch and then in the evenings for dinner, they'll change it up and they'll have different desserts there or just different food items. Here again, you'll notice another drinking area for your water, coffee, tea, and then some juices are complimentary. So we'll make our way to the back of the ship. You can see how big this area is. It's a pretty big buffet area, but it's very nicely laid out. The colors are nice, it's very fresh. Here is the second food station. This one isn't as popular because most of the people tend to go to the one up front, the one closer to the pool. So a tip for you, if you wanted to avoid the crowds, you could go to this one. More wash stations as we leave, and we make our way to the back of deck 16 to the Tides Pool area. On the left is Shaq's Big Chicken, and then on the right is a little milk and cereal area. Shaq's Big Chicken has really good fried chicken sandwiches and crispy fries, and they are open for breakfast and lunch. This is an included place and definitely worth checking out if you enjoy fried chicken. All the way in the back, you'll find some seating areas and the Tides Pool with the 2 hot tubs on either side of it. This Tides Pool is almost like an infinity pool. It overlooks the wake of the ship, and another aft pool, which this one is located in the summer landing zone on deck 8, which we'll visit later in this video. On the starboard side of deck 16, you have more seating areas as well as the Tides Bar and another Swirls ice cream station. This one here is open from 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And that wraps up deck 16. We will now head down to deck 8 as decks 9 through 15 are all staterooms. Deck 8 contains 3 major zones: the summer landing, the shores, and part of the Grand Central. We start off here on deck 8 by the back elevators, and this is where you'll find the guest services area if you have any questions or issues that you need to discuss. And they've got some pretty neat marine-like artwork on the walls. We head over to the first area, the summer landing zone. Here you'll find first of all the Carnival fun shops for any of your Carnival branded merchandise. To the right of the Carnival fun shop, you'll find the Guy's Pig and Anchor Smokehouse and Brewhouse. They actually have their own brewery on the ship, something that's not common on cruise ships, so this is pretty cool. And you're able to take tours of the brewery for a fee if you'd like. This area actually serves a simplified breakfast buffet for free from 7:30 to 10:30 every morning, and it doesn't get too crowded. It's good because you can avoid some of the crowds at the Lido marketplace and get a quick breakfast over here. They do serve dinner here, and I think some of the items for dinner are included and some are extra. I'm not really sure. And this place gets pretty popular and crowded, especially in the evenings. They do have a live band every night. They'll play different music, and so it's a good place to hang out and chill and enjoy the music. You can also play shuffleboard and foosball back here. The other half of this section is the Heroes Tribute Bar and Lounge, dedicated to all the brave men and women of the armed services. Thank you for Carnival for having this area, and most importantly, thank you to all those who have served and are still serving. We cannot say thank you enough for all that you do. If you want ice cream late at night, you'll need to come to this third Swirls ice cream place. It's open from 11 a.m. to midnight. Alright, let's make our way to the back of deck 8, the patio, and first we'll go to the right. Now here you'll find the third pool with some nice seats around it. Continuing to the right, this is where we're going to find Guy's Pig and Anchor Smokehouse. It's on deck 8, port side, and this is the included barbecue place, which is open on sea days for lunch from noon to 2:30 p.m. Continuing on the port side of deck 8, walking towards the front of the ship, there are several seating areas that we will see. The first area is for the Guy's Pig and Anchor. Then there is this area for Rudy's Seafood Grill, a paid specialty restaurant, some lounge chairs, and the outdoor seating section for the Cucina del Capitano. And at the end of that section, a very secluded area away from everything. Going all the way to the back of the ship, we'll now go to the starboard and aft of deck 18. Along with really beautiful views of the wake and the ocean, especially during sunsets, it's a beautiful area out here. And this area also doesn't seem to get too crowded. If you look up, you can see the aft-facing balcony rooms as well as the Excel corner suites. Walking down on the starboard side, you'll notice they have two hot tubs which overlook the ocean. Then you have the watering hole bar and then more seating areas. You can see all the regular balcony rooms up above, and it's just amazing. The size of the ship is truly amazing whenever you see it and you see all the different areas. Just a note, if you do have a balcony room on deck 9, just be aware that you are so close to the walking area right here on deck 8. It might not be an issue, but just definitely something to be aware of in case you did want more privacy. We have heard that sometimes it does get a little loud. And we do love the fact that on all these outdoor decks, Carnival with these Excel class ships, they made it so that the railings are all glass, giving you totally unobstructed views if you're laying down or sitting in any of these areas. This area here is known as the lanai, and this is where you come and eat pizza or sandwich or just have a drink at the outside portion of the Marina Bar or just relax. Now, if you were to continue walking on the outside, you would come across another smoking area and seating. It's all part of the shore zone, which we are entering right now. As we enter the shore zone from one of the side entrances, to the right of us is the Marina Bar and a seating area to the left of it. There's a cool Chris Craft boat with an image of the Pleasure Island Pier in Galveston, as well as the shore zone listings showing you all of the places that are in the shore zone. The first place that we'll see is the Cucina del Capitano Italian restaurant. Now, on previous ships and sailings, this was considered a specialty dining restaurant. However, on the Jubilee, at least in February of 2024 when this was filmed, this was actually included. And I think they have it included as part of their inaugural season. Not sure when that ends. Is it a year? Is it, several months? I'm not sure, but they said that it was included as part of the inaugural season. Alright, so here we are at the new place, Beach Buns, which is equivalent to the deli on the older ships. They make hot and cold sandwiches, soups, and cookies at no charge, and they're open from noon to 10 p.m. Right next to them is a Coastal Slice Pizza place, which is also included and open from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. the next morning. They have the usual pizzas that you're used to seeing, as well as two new ones for this Jubilee, a barbecue chicken one and a Tex-Mex, so both inspired by the Texas theme. In between the Beach Buns and the Carnival Adventures desk, there is this really beautiful staircase with colored mirrors in the back and a waterfall-like fish artwork. This goes down to levels 7 and 6, and it's a really picturesque area. Right next to the Beach Buns is where you'll find Rudy's Sea Grill, a specialty seafood place which is Chef Rudy Soderman's creation. Across from it is where you can book any Carnival-related shore excursions through Carnival Adventures. Past the Marina Bar and the Shore Zone, you'll enter the Pixels Gallery, where you can pick out and order any of the pictures taken of you by the crew. Remember to always have your pictures taken with them. You're not obligated to buy anything, and it doesn't cost you anything for them to take your pictures. You can view them, and if you see something you like, then at least you can purchase it if you wanted to. As we leave the Pixels area, we enter the upper level of the open Grand Central stage area. So the Grand Central is another zone, and it's basically it goes over 3 different levels. This area is beautiful and it's very spacious. It overlooks the stage below, where they have different night and day shows, including Deal or No Deal, Bingo, Rio Carnival, and several others. On the opposite side, you'll have the center elevator banks, some shops, the Bonsai Sushi Place, which is a paid restaurant, open from 5 p.m. to midnight on sea days, and then from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on port days. Right next to it is the Bonsai Teppanyaki Place, which is a paid teppanyaki place, open from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on all days. You have some stairs leading you down to the casino area of Deck 7 and this cool glass bridge overlooking the center stage of Grand Central. To the right is the Dream Studio, where you can get professional and special photo sessions for a fee. The Havana Bar is located straight ahead, and anyone can access the bar itself, but there is a Havana Bar pool area which is located on the outside. That is reserved for all the guests that are staying in the Havana area staterooms. Lastly, on Deck 8 in the front is the Chibang Mexican/Chinese restaurant, open for dinners from 5:30 to 9:30. Just like Cucina del Capitano, this is normally a paid restaurant, but it was included, and it is included in the inaugural season for the Jubilee. We had dinner there twice on our 7-day sailing, and we really enjoyed it. This concludes the tour of Deck 8. We will now go down to Deck 7. At the very front of Deck 7 is where the main entrance to the Jubilee Theater is. Carnival changed the layout of these theaters that are on the XL class ships. They look like a typical movie theater and are really different from the ones on the older ships. Not sure that we're a fan of the new layouts, unfortunately. They no longer have the benches or wider seating areas. Now each person gets their own seat and it feels kind of tight. You also no longer have drink service in the main theater. You have to go to the nearest bar, which in this case is the casino area, to get a drink. Right across the main entrance to the theater is where you can find the casino. The casino is supposed to be split into a smoking and non-smoking section, but honestly, unless I saw someone smoking, I couldn't tell which was which, and I couldn't smell smoke. Now granted, we weren't there for too long or during the peak hours when it would be full, so that would have made it more noticeable. The casino is huge and has a ton of slot machines and poker and blackjack tables. Now, if you enjoy craps or roulette, however, you probably would want to get there early, as there are only a couple of those, and those fill up pretty quickly. As we exit the casino on the starboard side, we'll come across the Grand View Bar, which overlooks the center stage area, and then some comfortable bench seating to watch the shows below. The casino takes up the right portion of that section, and then you'll have some more bench seating for the shows. Once you get past the center stage area, you'll come across some shops. We're now entering the second level of the current zone. This is another one of the 6 zones that they have on this ship. There's the famous Alchemy Bar to the right, and to the left is a nice seating area overlooking the first level of the current zone down on level 6. You can sit here, watch the changing lifelike aquarium screens while listening to live music from below. I did find this little screen which allows you to change the display on the big screens to different themes, but it wasn't working when I was filming, but it did work previously though. We'll make our way to the back of the ship, and here we'll see the beautiful staircase once again with the fish artwork and the beautiful mirrors in the back. Right across from the specialty dining steak place, the Fahrenheit 555. Now you are able to get a drink at this bar, and even if you're not having dinner at 555. If you're interested in getting some fancy artwork, there's a small art gallery right here on the left. Lastly, on deck 7 is the Pacific Dining Room, one of two of the main dining rooms located on the ship. Level 7 here is for the anytime dining, which is from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. nightly, and they'll have included dinner each night with rotating menus serving appetizers, main course entree, and a dessert, all included, and you're able to order drinks and pay for those if you'd like. And lastly, on this ship tour, we'll head down to deck 6, or level 6. Starting at the aft of the ship on deck 6 is where the lower level of the Pacific restaurant is. Now, this area here is open for set time dining in the evenings, either 5 p.m. or 7:45 p.m., as well as for the sea day brunches, which take place from 8:30 a.m. to noon, only on sea days. And remember that dinners or sea day brunches are included in your fare, and you just have to put your place in line or your name in line through the Carnival Hub app whenever you're ready. Sometimes there's no wait at all, and other times you might have to wait 15 or 30 minutes to be seated, depending on how busy it is. We'll enter the currents area, and the first place here on the left is the Carnival Kitchen. This is where you can pay for cooking classes, where they might have a different recipe each day. And we walked by there on a few occasions and we saw several people there enjoying themselves. Looks like a lot of fun. Right across from it, we see the elegant staircase once again with the cascading fish sculpture and the beautiful mirrors in the background. Continuing our way towards the front of the ship, you'll find the interactive screen showing you all of the Carnival ships at any given time and their location. If you touch any of the ships or the little icons, it will tell you what the name of the ship is, its weight, the passenger capacity, as well as where it's headed to. It even shows which ships are in dry dock at that time. Up next is the main currents area, which we saw from above earlier, and a new eating venue on the Excel class ships, Emeril's Bistro. It's a paid a la carte restaurant serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We didn't try it, but we heard that it was good and portions were pretty healthy. To the right is a new bar, Dr. Ink's, and a small area where they have live performers nightly. The screens above, as well as the ceiling lighting, will change throughout different times of the day, and so it gives it a different look and feel at different times. Just outside the currents zone is another staircase with a nice backdrop of mirrors, a great place to have your picture taken. And you'll find some more shops there as well. Going towards the port side of Deck 6, leaving Dr. Ink's, is this nice little walkway area with mirrors on one side and a seating area on the other side. Up next is the other main dining room, the Atlantic restaurant. This is for the set time dinner options, as well as where you'll find tea time in the afternoon on sea days. Just outside the Atlantic dining room is this really neat and detailed tiled mural, which matches the marine theme of the current zone. You'll find the very elegant Golden Mermaid bar. Here you'll be able to listen to live music, including the violin trio, as well as piano tunes. In between the tiled mural and the Golden Mermaid bar is this very impressive ship model replica of the Carnival Jubilee. It's very detailed and very accurate. Now, since we don't have any drone footage of the ship from the outside, this is as close to aerial exterior shots as we will get. We leave the current zone and enter the main area of the Grand Central Zone. This is where you would typically embark and disembark the ship on your first and last days. You see the main stage area to the right and the central elevator bank to the left. Across from us is the cherry on top, where you could get all kinds of candies and purchase them by the pound. There's plenty of seating available there to the right, and to the left of us is the Java Blue Cafe, which is open from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. There you can get your specialty paid coffees, some really delicious sweets and pastries for different prices, as well as free sandwiches and different types of wraps. Nestled in between the main stage and the Java Blue Cafe, we come across yet another bar, the Center Stage Bar. And heading towards the front of the ship is where you'll find the forward elevators and the Carnival Jubilee mural with a couple of the ship coins. To the right is the Punchliner Comedy Club, where you can listen to different comedians. I believe they might have two shows a night, one that is kid-friendly and the other one is for adults only. Across is the Cloud9 Fitness Center. We didn't get much footage from there since there were always people working out. And then lastly is the level 6 entrance to the Jubilee Theater. Thank you so much for watching till the end. This wraps up the almost full ship tour of the Jubilee. The ship is really large and has so much to offer, from all the food venues, the bars, and entertainment throughout. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, remember to enjoy your travels. It's your journey, and it's your story.